Let's make Jamaican patty. Hello everyone and welcome back to Creator's Kitchen, and here we have some ingredient. Guess what we are going to put in the oven today? We're going to make some patty for you. And we have some minced beef, some chopped onion. I get a few bits of my garlic and my bell pepper, and some garlic and some spring onion. And we're going to put some mixed herb and dry thyme in this, and we have some onion gravy. You know what this does? It give it the mince really nice juicy flavor. And here, so now we're gonna cook our mince and make it nice and juicy. We have our pan on the cooker. We're not gonna put any oil in there. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put our mince in it, and we're gonna shell the mince up. So we're gonna put the mince into it because this mince have 10% fat. You don't want too much fat in your pastry. You just want a nice so you just loose it up. So the fat from the mince we're gonna use to cook our spring onion and all the other recipe ingredients. So we just want to get this start cooking. And you have 10% fat in this beef, so that is perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do while this is cooking, here we have some allspice. So I'm just going to sprinkle some in it, grounded allspice. So we're going to do about a teaspoon of allspice. You just pour it over while it's slowly cooking because that's powder season. And we have some other seasoning, so we're just going to use this as well. I'm going to put about a teaspoon as well, because you don't want it too salty because this season contains salt. It's a nice cooking seasoning. It does give the food a lovely flavor. And we add some garlic powder. And we're going to put the same teaspoonful of garlic powder. I just judge myself. You know what Caribbean are like. They just go ahead. But I know it's about a teaspoonful because I cook so regular. And here we have some mixed herb. We're going to add some of that. I like mixed herb into my mince. It makes it really, really nice. So see we mince coming together nicely. And as your mince is on this way cooking, we're gonna add our garlic into the mince. I'm not gonna fry my garlic. I'm just gonna pour 2 cloves of chopped garlic into the mince and just let that cook within it as well. We also have some chopped onion, which is 1 chopped onion. Put that in. And you mix that in. When you eat this patty, it tastes like juicy patty. And we have some spring onion. We had that in as well. And all that season gonna tenderize with the mince, because we're gonna add a bit of water in that as well. And here we have some bell pepper. All that seasoning, I just use 1 small bell pepper, and use as much spring onion as you want to give it the flavor. You can't go wrong with spring onion. And I use 1 onion, but if you want to use more onion, you can. Unfortunately, we should have hot pepper. I do not have any hot pepper today, so I'm just gonna use my black pepper. So just keep stirring while the mince is cooking, and you keep the season going with the mince as well. So here we have some chopped Irish potato, and we're just gonna add those potato and add some water to the mince to let that potato tenderize. And when it tenderizes, we're gonna mash it in it to give that nice body so that it's not loose. So we add in about 1/4 cup of water. I'm gonna add to this, and that sauce will make the gravy for the mince. So when the potato is cooked and all the other ingredients is cooked into the mince, then we're gonna add, so you cut the potato very fine so that they cook quickly, because you don't need to cook mince for a long period of time. So all the season gonna dissolve, they cook tenderly, and then they just melt away with the mince, so you get that nice body and that thickness in the pot, in the pastry. You don't want a dry mince in the pastry. So we're gonna cover this and leave it to cook. So I put about 1/2 cup of water in, and we're just gonna cover it. When this is tenderized, we're gonna mash the potato and add some onion gravy to give it that nice body. So now I'm gonna place the lid on, and also in a few minutes I'm gonna add just a bit of soy sauce. Now guys, we are checking on our mince, and this is how it looks. We're just gonna make sure all the potato cooked in here. I'm gonna add some soy sauce, just a tiny amount of soy sauce, dark soy sauce. And that soy sauce helps to give the color, because I don't have any food browning, so I'm just gonna use this ordinary soy sauce. So just pour some, not too much because you don't want it too salty. And then we're gonna add our onion gravy and let all that. So I'm gonna slowly add the onion gravy into it. So just sprinkle it. You can dissolve it in water, but I'm just adding it because the mince up. I'm not adding it in a lot. You add small amount. Mix it in until you have the hassle to crush the potato. You can grate the potato and put it in the sauce, but just take your fork and crush, or use your potato mash and just mash all the potato, whichever, all over. If you feel more comfortable, and dissolve it in some water, in warm water, it still work just the same. Taste to see what it tastes like. Remember, always taste your food if you have the right flavor. That tastes. Leave it to simmer a little so that all that, you don't want it dry and you don't want it too runny. Just want a nice sauce that when you put in the pastry, it's not too wet. And also you don't want the pastry too dry. It's not too wet and it's not too dry. It's just in between. So as you can see, everyone, you see now you don't see the potato as much in it because you mash all that, so you have that nice thick body of meat. So when you bite that pastry with that juicy meat, you just melt in your mouth. So you can see as you push that aside, you cannot see any water running. Just nice and thick and firm, and that's how you're supposed to get your mince for your patty. And you can see how it stays still on the spoon. It's not wet, and when you run it off, it's not oily, it's not wet, and it's also not greasy because I didn't put any grease in it. I just cook it in its own fat. And as you look at that, lovely way to do your mince for your patty. So you have a more watering patty, and as you can see, when you move it in the pan, you don't see it's finished cooking and ready to cool for the pastry for the patty. So here we have 2.5 cups of flour, of self-raising flour, and 1.5 cups of plain flour. And in that we have half a teaspoon of salt, so we're gonna pour that in. And we also have 2 teaspoonfuls of turmeric powder, so we pour that in. That is to give the flour color. And we're gonna mix all that turmeric powder in because we need it to have a lovely yellow color. So it seems like we're gonna need some more turmeric powder in this because it's not yellow enough. So we're gonna so there we put some more turmeric powder in. So it seems like this will give it the yellow. So you just mix the salt, the turmeric powder, or the curry powder if you don't have any turmeric powder together. And here we add some lard. So we're gonna crush this into the flour. So we're gonna cut this in. So here, what I did to make the thing easier for me, I grated the lard. So to make it a lot easier to dissolve in the flour. So all you need to do now, you just keep your hand in there and rub it, make all the flour and the lard combine together. You mash all of that into the flour. It's gonna take you a little time, but until it's all refined. As you can see, it's coming together, so you just make sure you rub all that. So when you grate it, you don't have to grate it, but I grate it just to get it done quickly. So take in the paste, we're gonna pour 1/4 cup of milk, and then we're gonna put some clear water. Not gonna put too much water because you don't want the dough too soft. Then we're gonna knead this dough together to let it all combine into a lovely dough. Finished making the dough, we're gonna roll out the dough and make some patty and put the meat in the pastry. So here is the dough and it's nicely done. So we're gonna break that dough and roll it out. So let's put the dough on the board. Now we're gonna cut small piece of dough and roll it out. So now we gonna cut we probably can get about 6 to 8 patty on this dough. Let's see what happened here. So we're gonna separate all those dough and roll them out. So let's do the first one. I put some flour onto I put some tracing paper and put some flour on it. So we're gonna roll out our patty. So this is how you roll out your patty, and when you're gonna fold. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put these into the tray, and then we're gonna put our pastry onto the patty. So we're gonna do our second patty because so just roll it out. So now we're gonna put some flour on our, just flour your chopping, your rolling pin a little. See, because I use a tracing paper to roll it out because I don't want the curry flake come out onto the chopping board. So I put a tracing paper onto the chopping board. And that's another one. So you just take it off the tracing paper and we're gonna rest it. So we make sure we flour your rolling pin and start rolling again. You're not gonna get them all neat and tidy because of the lard that in the patty, in the pastry. So you roll it out. Not too thin and not too thick. Now that we roll out all the pastry and we are going to put the meat inside the pastry now. So here we go. You make sure you take out all the cooking time. So in that pastry you're going to put some meat. The meat is cold and because of the gravy, that's why it looks like that. You just spread that into the pastry. And that's one. We're gonna do the second one. So we do the second pastry. Now we're gonna do this pastry is coming off the edge. So we're gonna put it back. You put the cooked mince into the pastry. And all we're gonna do here is fold. So you fold that one like that, and you fold this one just the same. And you're gonna put it together, and then you're gonna make another one beside that one. You spread that paste, you spread the meat, and then you're just gonna cut these little waste from the edge of the patty. So you take those off. You just flatten him and you take just that little bit off. You don't want to take a lot off. Using the fork. Everyone, we make our patty and we're gonna just make a little puncture with the fork so that it doesn't burst. So you just make some little puncture there. Put all these patty in the oven and gas for 40 minutes. Now everyone, the patty is finished and it's just nice and shelly and nice and tasty and juicy on the inside. As you can see, I cut one of them and it's lovely. And I hope you enjoy making this Jamaican patty with me. It's simple and easy. I make mine in a very simple way so that it's easy for you to make. I hope you like this recipe and enjoy making it with me today. And if it's your first time in Creative's Kitchen, welcome to Creative's Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see new weekly video. I know I'm not regular, but I will be back on track. Sorry about my slow posting, as I mentioned before. I will get myself back on track because of my device. Hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. And juicy is this patty, and how shelly is not dry.